What's up, everybody? How the hell are we doing? It's Wednesday night. It is the Late Night Agenda. I'm your host, Craig, and we're going to go through all the transfers. We're going to go through all the Liverpool stories. We're going to go off on tangents tonight. We're going to have some fun. I hope you're all keeping well. I hope the week is treating you well. If you're a Monday to Friday merchant, then I guess it's middle of the week for you guys, so it's only uphill from here. I hope everybody's families are well. I hope everyone's loved ones are well. I hope you're all having a great time. Look, let's get stuck into it. Give me your comments. You can steer this conversation whichever direction you want, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to serve. Let me know what you want to chat about. We've got Nabil Fekir. We've got we've got Pepe. We've got other bits and pieces. It's your show. You let me know what you want to talk about and we'll go there. I hope you're all having a good day. I'm flying today. I'm really, really buzzing. I had some good fun on social media today. Just taking the piss. Just had one of those days where I felt like I wanted to go on and take the piss a little bit, and I enjoyed myself. Right, what else we got? Hello, Craig, said Mossy Kyo, Anthony Cronin, how are you, sir? Welcome in. Vinny Johnson, John Hamilton. Fekir. We all want to talk about Fekir. Look, let me just start off this by saying the Nabil Fekir rumours are starting to come in thick and fast again, and I'm going to hold my hands up. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm ready to be hurt all over again. I would absolutely love Nabil Fekir to come to Liverpool Football Club. I mean, hurt me all over again. I mean, FekirFridays all over the place. I don't know. I have no idea if there's anything true to this or not. But as the day has gone on Twitter especially, it seems to be ramping up and up and up and up. One thing I'll say is, and I've said this all along, I don't believe any of this £15 million nonsense. I don't believe that one bit. I just can't see that they let him go for 15 million quid. But on this though, Nabil Fekir, I said it last year when it happened, or when it didn't happen I should say, it's perfect for me. I just want it. I just wanted it out. Ibrahim, if you're trying to spell nonce, mate, your stupid, moronic, gobshitey arse can't spell nonce. It's Nonce. So if you're going to try and call me a nonce, mate, do better, mate. Just be better. I mean, how hard is it to spell a goddamn word? If you're going to come in and trolling, put some effort in. There's nothing pisses me off more than a subpar Pole, Ibrahim. It's nonce. Nonce, you absolute fool. Somebody boot that gobshite out for me, will you? Nonce. Can't even spell nonce. I mean, how thick are you, mate? You come on to troll me and your sad ass can't even get the one fucking word. Your one job, mate. You had one job, and that was to spell the word nonce, and you fucked that up. I mean, imagine that. Sucks being you, mate. Absolutely sucks being you. And I'm in great form, Ibrahim, and you've just ruined it, mate. Your lack of grammar has ruined my entire evening. I'm only joking, but you are a gobshite, mate. Seriously, spell the word nonce properly. It's not hard. Nonce. Not very fucking hard, mate. Imagine that. One word, and you fucked it up. Oh, it was like a full-on 50 or a full-on fucking 8 Mile moment there, wasn't it? Mom spaghetti. Well, all that moment. Build up, mate. You had your chance. One shot at the champ. And you fucked it up, mate, because you can't spell a simple word. If you're going to accuse somebody of something later on in life, Ibrahim, mate, at least learn to fucking spell. Do you know what I mean? If you're going to come in and accuse somebody of something. He reaped me. That man over there reaped me. He reaped the shit out of me. It's not going to work out well for you, Ibrahim, mate, in life. Concentrate. No trolling. Get your ass to school. Get yourself an education. And stay off the drugs, mate. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know if you do or don't take them. Stay off the drugs. They're not for you. Clearly, whatever happens here, Ibrahim. God Almighty. What a way to start the show. What a way, ladies and gentlemen. Nonce with an S, you absolute fucking plank. One job and he fucked it up by one job indeed. Look, let's circle back around to Nabil Fekir. I love him. And I want him so much. And I've no idea if it's true. I've no idea if it's true. I've seen some things either way. I've seen some people that can be reliable. Genuinely, I've seen some people on social media that have been right in the past say that there's something to this, and then I've seen some absolute ITK merchants just jump on the bandwagon. I've no idea whether it's true or not. What do you guys think? Have you guys read up on Nabil Fekir much today? You know my thoughts on him. I've been saying it for a long time. Last year, I wanted him more than anybody else. It's just that one name that just seems to tick every box for us. Fekir's face gets me, said Seamus Smith. It just looks like a Liverpool player, Seamus, doesn't he? He looks like somebody that should be at the club. Pranav, how are you, my friend? I'm doing very well today, mate. I'm glad to see you win again. Chris Wells, Craig, rocking the new kit. I love the new kit, mate. I tell you, I'm going to try and wear it as much as I can because I love it. Gabriel, how are you, mate? Welcome. Or Gabriel, how are you, mate? Welcome. Other transfers for other teams, please, Craig. Didn't really do much on that today. Now, obviously, we've seen Manchester United sign that James kid, the guy from Swansea. That's all I've really seen. I haven't done. Real Madrid signed Mendy. That's been announced over the past hour or so. Was it 46 million, something like that for him? Oh, one more massive one as well. Barcelona have all but agreed to sign Griezmann. By the looks of it, there's been a post put up. I think it was. God, what account was it? What I'd been sent was a quote from, I think, the Atletico president or something, saying the deal to take him to Barcelona was done. And then I can't remember the name of it. Who's FB? Who's the initials FB for massive football accounts on Twitter? They said that it's basically a done deal as well. So massive news there. Boya, have you changed your Twitter account, or is that somebody taking the piss, mate? Did you really get banned? Because I seen I got followed from a new Boya account, and I was just thinking, how on earth could one of the nicest guys I've met get banned from Twitter? And I'm still on there getting away with stuff, mate. It did make sense to me. Big Daddy Joe said, except for the knees. Yes, there is the knees. There's knees that could possibly be made out of pre-chewed wet crackers. But I don't know. As I said, I'm ready to be hurt all over again. And like Alex Redo there said, I don't want to get my hopes up, but I am kind of getting my hopes up a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Me and Steve, Retro and Lim, have already been going #FekirFriday back and forth on Twitter. And as Dirty Girl said, I said this a while ago, Liverpool play Lyon. I don't think that's a coincidence in a friendly. Now, I don't know if it's for Fekir, but I have said all along, it does seem, I don't know, I don't believe in coincidences. There's something to this Lyon friendly in my eyes. I don't know. Joseph Stalin said, nonce, joking, but at least you spelt it correctly, Joseph Stalin. Do you know what I mean, mate? I mean, I'm all for people calling me whatever they want. It's just the poor grammar that gets to me, mate. Especially when it's one word that he had. Just one word. That's all he had to get right. That Mendy lad from Lyon signed for Madrid, said V8 Van Dijk. Yep, we've seen that one as well. It seems to be that it has to be somewhere around £50 million these days for a fullback, doesn't it? It's bad. Mr. Dead Inside But Still Horny said Fekir, and then I don't know, mate. I'm getting a bit excited. I already said to Connor, if this happens, if this comes off, I'm getting a Fekir on the back of the shirt. I don't care. If he comes to Liverpool, I'm getting his name on the back of the shirt. I might even go nuts and just get #FekirFriday on the back of it just for the laugh. Is this person reliable that reported it? It's. I can't tell you, Mark, where it originated from. I've just seen a load of different posts. Now, maybe somebody has dug to the bottom of this and they can see where it originally started from. I don't know who started this. I've seen the stuff over the past few days, of course, saying that £15 million he could be, or €50 million they could let him go for. But then the stuff about Liverpool started to creep in, and I don't know. I really don't know, but I just hope. I hope and hope and hope. If Fekir comes, what will be our midfield three? See, I wouldn't necessarily think of Nabil Fekir as playing in our midfield all the time. He could play anywhere across our front three, so he could be there to give backup as well. See, here's why I think Fekir makes some sense. Okay, so bear with me as I try and go through this one. If Liverpool signed him and said to themselves, right, we're getting him for, let's say 30, 35 million, whatever, 25, whatever it might be, anything less than 40 million quid, we could probably say to ourselves, well, look, if we got 25 games out of him a season, maybe the important games, or maybe look at it the other way, maybe the cup games, the domestic cup games, which I think he's too good. You know, I would rather him for the more important games. But let's see, if you got 25, 30 games a season out of him for a few years, that might be alright. That'd do me. Especially if it's at some type of a knockdown value price. I'd be all over it, I have to say. Bread6, I feel sorry for Fekir, to be honest. He really wanted to come by the looks of it and had two things. It was his brother or his knee, don't know which one. Again, I don't know either, mate. I'm hoping that it was a money issue and not the knee issue. Because originally when the deal was last year, when it was being pitched, there was always worries about the knee. And Liverpool, if I remember the timeline correctly of this last year, at some point they said they went to get a second opinion, and I remember a tweet or something saying Liverpool's fears have been allayed after a second opinion. And then we're all thinking, right, well, that just delayed the deal a bit. It's going to go on. It's going to get sorted. And then it didn't. And nothing from anybody on this at the time, just that it wasn't happening. People start guessing. People start saying it was about the knee. And you know what? It may well have been about the knee, but it might not have been. It might have been about money. Who knows? LJW said Fekir and Sancho would be ideal. Did you see the leaked list of the first game of the season? Yes, Burnley away, or Burnley at home, sorry, is it? But there was a leak last year as well. There's a leak every single season, and I don't really mind, to be fair. I'm somebody that doesn't really care when the fixtures fall, because we play everybody twice, and to win the league we've got to end up with the most points at the end of it. I know it's a boring ass answer, mate, but it genuinely is how I feel about it. I don't really mind. I'm more annoyed by the whole Amazon thing, that what we call in Ireland Stephen's Day, what in the UK you call Boxing Day, that those Premier League fixtures aren't going to be on Sky or BT, that they're going to be on Amazon. You've got to have Amazon Prime to watch those games. I'm more annoyed by that, because now in the UK and Ireland we're looking at having to have 3 different subscriptions to watch Premier League football, which is kind of taking the piss a little bit. Now I know that Amazon, I think, only have 10 games or something like that, a handful of games anyway, but it's another fucking subscription that people have to have in a time where people are already shelling out for Sky, already shelling out for BT, and now an Amazon on top of that. I don't know, where does it stop? Are we gonna go pay-per-view football? Is United Liverpool gonna end up being a fucking pay-per-view game at some point? Fekir's smile makes me smile. Love your content, bro. Thank you very much, James. Love right back at you, mate. Thank you for being here with us. Crosby Red said, Fekir coming, not based on any journal reports, can feel it in my waters. And that's the thing, Crosby Red. You're not alone in that. Dave, our very own Dave Henry, posted something similar into the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp group as well. Just some people just have a feeling about this one. I don't know. It just feels like unfinished business. And last year, imagine what the conversation must have been like if Nabil Fekir has come, done his interview, wore the shirt, filmed stuff at LFC TV, and then the deal doesn't happen, which of course we know it didn't happen. For the club to then leave him high and dry like that to me doesn't seem like the way Jurgen Klopp works. Now, if it was about the knee and it's a medical issue, I absolutely understand that. But if it's anything other than a medical issue, then there's definitely a way around this. But again, we're going to have to wait and see, aren't we? Craig, Fekir deal failed down to money, said Stevie Richards. I hope that is the case, mate, and that would make all of this much easier to get through now. Cara23 said, even though you're such a massive Fekir fan, who do you think would be better for us, Fekir or Fernandes? Honestly, I think Fekir. Honestly, I do think Fekir, mate, because Fernandes had a good season in Portugal, and that has to be the caveat, in Portugal. Now, I don't know how good Fernandes could go on to be, because I'm not going to lie and say I've seen a lot of him, but he had a record-breaking goal-scoring season for midfield in the Portuguese league. Fekir has shown up on the big occasions in the Champions League. He's part of a World Cup winning French squad, although his game time was very limited. He just always felt like a player that would fit. You know, one of those players, mate, that when you heard his name mentioned to Liverpool, you just kind of sat up and went, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Fernandes, everything I've read about Fernandes is linked him more to United than Liverpool. But again, United could just be trying to put more stuff out in the media, because if you look on Sky Sports News as an example today, there's about 6, 7, 8 different United stories on there. There's the Harry Maguire story, there's the story of that young lad that they signed, James from Swansea. There's a couple of other stuff about Ed Woodward, I think, and it just seems to be more stuff in the media about United, and Liverpool seem to be just, going about whatever they're doing quietly. Joshua Smith said the Fekir rumour seems to have came from Vincent Duluch, a French journalist for L'Equipe. Thank you very much for that, Joshua. Appreciate that, mate. Sorry to mention Ligt might go to PSG, said Dirty Girl. Yes, no, you never need to apologise, mate, for saying anything on here. All input is welcome. It does seem like PSG could be the most likely destination. Now, if Barcelona have got this deal to sign Griezmann, then I would seriously question whether they have the money on top of signing De Jong to go back in then and spend 65-70 million quid on Ligt. I would seriously question that. So yeah, if Griezmann's done, then it looks like Mino Raiola will get his little greasy palms fed, let's say, to the tune of whatever it is, 11 million quid by sending them to PSG. And I will lose every single ounce of respect that I have for him if he goes to PSG, because you go to PSG for one reason and one reason only, and that is money. Because you're not going to win the Champions League at PSG, it's just not going to happen. Am I going to watch the Tyson Fury fight? Probably not, Anthony, because I refuse to pay a pay-per-view to watch Tyson Fury fight Tom Schwartz. I just refuse to pay that money, mate. So I will watch the Josh Warrington fight that's on earlier on tonight, but I'm not sure if I'm going to pay to watch Tyson Fury fight Tom Schwartz, mate. It doesn't really float my boat enough to spend 25 quid or whatever it is on it. Kieran O'Sullivan said there was nothing wrong with Fekir's knee. He just played a full season for injury free. Yeah, absolutely, Kieran. And some stuff around the time, mate, that I'd read about, it said that he does have to have a little rest period every 6 months or so, maybe. But that's not unusual for any player. I mean, if you're going to rotate a player out for a couple of weeks, sound, let him have a rest. I hope Kieran is right, mate. I really would love him. The funny thing is Liverpool have never once come out and said we don't have interest in him. It's only ever the reporter saying it. The club really don't come out and say they do or don't have interest in anybody though, Limo. That's the thing, mate. We get it from the Echo alright, but the club very rarely comment on anything like that. And it would be unprofessional of them to do so, particularly if they've no interest in him. Why would they comment on it? They just go about their business. Pat Moynihan said Fekir was very close to signing last year. Could be done this time. Good player. I think Fekir would be an amazing number 10 to Anthony Cronin. In the position, I think you mean. Obviously not the shirt. Yeah, and he's so versatile. That's the thing about him. He can play deeper as an attacking mid. He can play across either side of a front three. And Jurgen Klopp loves versatility. We've spoken about this before. He absolutely loves players that can play in numerous positions. Rule said most people have Amazon Prime. I don't. And I use Amazon, Rule, because Amazon Prime isn't worth a shit, mate, in Ireland. And here's why. One, the television channel listings on it are shite. We don't even get anywhere near as much as the UK because, I don't know, must be copyright or something like that. And Amazon Prime really isn't worth a shit to us because we can't get same day delivery or anything like that over here. So it's not really worth it. I do order a lot of stuff off Amazon. I mean, I'll hold my hands up and admit to that one. I mean, most of the equipment I use has probably come from Amazon, but I don't have an Amazon Prime account because it's just not worth it for me, even if it is only a £5 a month or whatever it is. Wayne said, Craig, I think it'll happen because both clubs were silent about the deal. Yeah, and Jean-Michel Aulas does like to talk when there's something happening as well, so maybe the club have said, look, just shut your mouth. Shut your mouth and we'll get this done. Good evening, Danny. How are you, mate? Sorry, only just seen that comment now, mate. I hope you're keeping well. Danny to me. Fekir, Salah, Mane, Firmino tearing the opposition defence apart, said Pranav. Mate, I mean, ripping a new one to them. That's all I can say. O-Dog said, didn't Fekir say that Liverpool was his dream move and that he grew up idolising the club? I don't know, but I really hope he did. I really hope he did, O-Dog. I don't care, by the way. If he ends up signing for another club and this video comes back to haunt me, I really don't give a shit. Because my genuine feelings are that I would absolutely love that kid at Liverpool Football Club. Even looking at the image of him there smirking in the image that we have for tonight's show, the man just makes me smile. I would love him at Liverpool Football Club. Still, I think this is the longest, by the way, we've spoken about one player at the start of a show, which is class. It's Fekir's life naked. I don't know what that is. Fekir life naked with anybody else? I don't know what you mean by that, O-Dog. Transfer season is the best, the worst time. Killing me not knowing, but it may be superb soon, said Mr. Carl 07ish. Yeah, it's good that Liverpool are quiet about stuff. I like that, but like you, mate, I'm a little bit impatient at times and I do want to know transfer to happen because I love transfer season. Paul said I don't have Amazon Prime, can't afford it. Sam said, hi Craig, think we've signed Fekir and the friendly is part of the deal. Yeah, I hope so. I know it's easy for us to put 2 and 2 together on here and come up with 7, but we're going to have to wait and see. I know I keep saying this every night, but we're going to have to wait and see. Danny, my pleasure, mate. I always try and say hello to as many people as I can in the chat, mate, because I appreciate people taking the time to come in, unless they're going to misspell the word nonce, in which case they can kiss my ass. Fekir looks like a Liverpool player, so Param, in my opinion. Crosby Red said maybe we deliberately waited a year knowing Leon would have to sell this summer to cut down price. That's not out of the question at all, Crosby Red. Absolutely not. To me and you and normal people throwing around 20 millions here, 50 millions there, but to a club, I mean, 25 million saving or 30 million saving for a year that we ended up winning the Champions League anyway. That would be a good piece of business, and that will be Michael Edwards at his finest. So yeah, I'm hoping you're right. George, hello, how are you, mate? By the way, hope you're keeping well. Our Arsenal fan friend. I think Pepe is the best choice, but Fekir is also good. On Pepe, let me swing this round to Pepe because our elf friend, where's he gone? Our friend, Mr. Steve Nicol, if you've seen the thumbnail, you've probably seen the gangly quote. Well, Steve Nicol has been talking again. Good old Stevie Nicol. He's been speaking to ESPN and he was talking about Nicolas Pepe and he said, I really don't get this one. He's had a good season, but he just doesn't look like a Liverpool player to me. He's a little unorthodox. He looks gangly. He's got it done. The stats bear that out. Unfortunately, it's League 1 and I'm not a huge fan of League 1. I don't want to say League 1 because I just sound like a fool, but me saying sounds like a fool as well. Anyway, I don't think the standard is particularly great. Before the season kicks off, we've known PSG have already won the league. I'm not sure of this. And then I took that, by the way, from, as I said, that came from ESPN. And then we've seen Liverpool continue to be linked with a transfer for Lille star Nicolas Pepe this summer, but Anfield Chiefs have a theory on the rumours. The Reds believe their name is being used to promote interest in a 23-year-old who's expected to make a big switch, but the Evening Standard claim that Liverpool have no interest in Pepe. And I pulled that story from the official Liverpool club site, but it does stem from the Evening Standard, as I said, because you know if you're on the Liverpool site, there's a rumour section on there, and they just list off, which I've always found very strange, by the way, that the club have their own rumour section where they list off newspaper rumours about themselves. I've always found that very weird. I don't know why. Maybe I'm in the minority on that, but I always found that a little bit weird. It's like they're purposely teasing us or something like that. But yeah, so Stevie Nicol, what are your thoughts on what Stevie Nicol had to say about Pepe? Because I've been very honest about this. I haven't seen much of Nicolas Pepe. Gangly, I don't know, is he? You guys probably watched them more than me. And I haven't forgotten about Dejan Lovren as well. I'll get round to Dejan Lovren in a few minutes. Craig, you see that most of the time that I'm in the chat, it's really early because I'm so excited for the stream. I do notice that sometimes, Anthony, that there's some people waiting in the chat when we're coming on. And I appreciate it because if I'm a few minutes early, I do read through some of the comments, mate, and just see how everyone's feeling before I came on. Try and get a vibe of what people want to talk about as well. Gavin Malloy said, Fekir signed for Liverpool last year, but we loaned him back to Lyon. It's all been kept very quiet because Lyon were afraid of losing millions in the stock exchange. Oh, mate, I love theories like that. I love an old smoke screen or a misdirection. There was loads of stock exchange talk last year, actually, Gavin. Do you remember that? It can't be announced today because Lyon have to say blah, blah, blah to the stock exchange. Let's just wait and see what happened. Liverpool legend said, to be fair, Nicol's comment about League is right. Bring back Karius as our backup. He's gone, mate. He's gone. Even if it all went pear-shaped with Besiktas, it looks like there's a couple of clubs in Germany that'll be willing to take Karius. I just think it's better for him to move on from Liverpool and just put that part of his career behind him. And I hold no bad feeling or ill feeling at all towards Loris Karius. I hope he goes on and has a great career. I've seen that Coutinho wants to come back to the Premier League after not enjoying time in Barcelona. That's been gone around a while, Nathan. I think it came up again because it was his birthday or something yesterday, and I think a few Liverpool players wished him a happy birthday, and stories I think kept coming from there. What I actually think is if Griezmann goes to Barcelona, which it looks like it's going to happen, that might actually suit Coutinho because he might now be able to drop into the role that I always believed he was brought into Barcelona to play, which is to fill that Xavi and Iniesta style role a little bit deeper behind and not have to play in the left side of a front three. So maybe that move would actually, if Griezmann does go in, might benefit Felipe Coutinho at Barcelona. Brian Morrissey is in. How are you, Brian? Welcome. Craig, I've said it previously, could be misinformation to throw others off and keep us away from our targets, said John. Yeah, I mean, everything is possible, mate. I love this cloak and daggers, transfer window, misdirection. Love all this stuff. I love the Mercedes Vito's vans going around Liverpool. I love the plane tracking. I love Liverpool fans coming up with clever names to make up bullshit journalists, and it's all part of the fun, and I love the transfer window fun. Joanne Fisher said, hello to Craig and everybody. Are you still doing the stream for the 1920 season tomorrow, even though it seems the fixtures have been leaked? I don't know. Did I ever say I was doing one? Honestly, can't remember, Joanne. I don't know if I would have said I will do one because I don't really give a shit about the fixtures because they are what they are. But if I did say I'd do one, I don't know. I don't remember, Joanne, is the honest answer, mate. What have we got? Stevie Richard said we're 125 subscribers away from 17k. I didn't even notice that. Nice. 17k next up. So look, yeah, if you are watching, you're enjoying the stream, please do hit that subscribe button. We're not going to get 125 people to subscribe, but you know what, we might push on a little bit. Stevie is a legend, said Mark Roden. Steve Nicol as a player, 100% agree with you, Mark. And in this situation with Pepe, I don't know if he's right or wrong, but he has talked a little bit of crap over the past while, has Mr. Nicol. I thought Griezmann was going to PSG, so did I. But then Connor sent me a message earlier on saying that it looks like he's going to. I think it was Bleacher Report earlier on. I was trying to think of who BR was. I think it was Bleacher Report. Had put up a picture of him, half Atleti, half Barcelona shirt. And then Connor said something about some senior figure, I think, in Atletico had said that the deal was going to happen. To Barcelona, I mean, sorry. Would I take Coutinho back? Depends on the money, Sonny. It honestly depends on the money, because look, am I going to sit here and say Coutinho isn't a good player? No, because I'd be absolutely lying to you. Felipe Coutinho was a very good footballer. Did I enjoy him at Liverpool? Absolutely. It hurt me like hell when he left, and I was really pissed off that we didn't replace him, even though Jurgen Klopp proved to have made the right decision because we got to a Champions League final. And Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain stepped up, and I think other players continued their development, but it would all be about numbers, mate. And let's just say, realistically, 80 million, because we sold him for 145. He ain't worth that now, but we're not going to get him for like 40 or 50 because Barcelona would rather cut their nose off to spite their face than do that. So 80 million, I don't know. I don't think so, Sonny, mate. I really don't think so. I think there's better value out there in the market than getting Coutinho back. Craig, no news on Werner. It's gone really quiet. It looks like he's going to go to Bayern Munich, mate, next season, by the looks of it. Mino Raiola has denied the litters off the PSG. Called it fake news. So this makes it even more interesting. And if he's denied it, then where is he going? Can Barcelona afford to get Griezmann, to get Ligt, and to get Frankie de Jong? Can they afford that in this window? I don't know. Let's wait and see. Liam Granby said, you remember I tweeted a picture of the number 6 bringing left with her name in it the other day, hinted Lovren was leaving. Yeah, look, I'll get on to Lovren in a sec, because I've been talking about Dejan Lovren for months now on the stream, and this particular move. I will get there in a sec. When did this Fekir rumour come out? It kind of started a few days ago, Breadsticks, but today it really started to ramp up a little bit. I don't remember if... Boya, did you say about that new account, mate? Sorry, I missed your comment. Did you put in a new account on Twitter, or was that a fraud? Lachanel burger emoji or something besides your comment, mate. That'll catch my eye. Burnley away was leaked. Don't know if it's true or not, Mossy, because there was leaked fixtures last season as well. What does make me sceptical about these fixture leaks is, would the TV schedules have been sorted that quickly on them? If the fixture's going to be released tomorrow, have the TV companies already picked which ones they want? Nathan Murray, you're the best YouTuber, mate. Road to 100,000 subs. Thank you, mate. I really appreciate that. God knows, it could take us 10 years to get to 100,000 subs, mate. But you know what? We're having a good season, or a good year, and I'm loving being on here talking to people like yourself. So thank you for those kind words, Nathan. Pepe hasn't talked crap. He's just had a different opinion. Pepe? Pepe hasn't talked crap? You mean Stevie Nicol? Raoul, I'm a bit confused, mate. If you're talking about Steve Nicol, in my opinion, and this is all just based on opinion, of course, Raoul, he absolutely has talked shite a lot of the time. But it is his opinion, so it is a different opinion, and I do fully take on board what you say. As a player, yes, but he chats some shit, said Liam Granby. Fixture list isn't released till tomorrow morning, said John Hamilton. Yeah, but there's some stuff around leaks, John. It was the same last year. I doubt Coutinho will come back, said Sam. I think he would, you know. I think he would come back if he had to leave Barcelona. Half price and less wages than he originally had. Apparently, didn't he take a wage cut to go to Barcelona? Or did I make that up? Alpha G said we should sign Coutinho, increase his value and sell him back for 150 mil. Pleasure. Oh, Ben, yes, chatting on Twitter, mate. How are you? Nice to see you in. I hope the exams go well for you, Ben. We did have a nice little conversation on Twitter earlier on, mate. It was interesting. I always like to try and interact with people. Great to see you jump on here, mate, and say hello. What else have we got? Hashtag FekirFriday, said Alpha G. Was saying to me Scout's brother-in-law that Fekir would be a good signer for you lot, said Scott. He'd be brilliant, mate. Honestly, I think he'd be cracking. I'd love him at the club. You can't leak fixtures when they randomly come out of a machine, just like how you can't leak the Champions League or the UEFA draws. They tried to say that last year as well. Remember somebody called the Carabao Cup semi-final draw or something like that, and they thought it was fixed. Oh, it was you. What got you banned, boy? How did you get banned off Twitter, mate? That baffles me. Because, I mean, I've said some stuff on Twitter that could have got banned and somehow got away with it, but you getting a ban, mate, that shocked me. Anthony Cronin said, I've been asking all my mates to subscribe to you. That's really kind of you, mate. Thank you. I hope you get United away first. Burnley first away, said Mark Forrest. We've Burnley away according to the league link, said Claire. Who do you see us signing as a backup left back? This is one position, Neil Gordon, where I'm absolutely lost, mate. Other than what we've spoken about with the Adam Lewis kid coming up from the under-23s, I haven't got a clue about the backup left back, mate. And it's weird because it's a position we definitely need to strengthen. I mean, we can't, if Robbo gets injured, we have short-term fixes, but it would be nice to have another backup there. I haven't seen anything, mate, honestly. The Mirror's important. Liverpool have a gentleman's agreement with Fekir to come back this year. Oh, I do love a gentleman's agreement, Blaine. I do love that, mate. Oh, God, I'm getting my hopes up now. I can already see me shirt with Fekir on the back of it. I haven't seen Fekir linked with anybody else apart from Liverpool, which is surprising. I'm sure I seen him linked to Manchester City a while back. I'm sure I seen that link somewhere. Again, how true it is or not, I don't know. But in the main, I would agree with you, Breadsticks. There hasn't been much linking him anywhere else. Liverpool currently leading the way to sign Bruno Fernandes, according to multiple tabloids, said Colin Murray. I don't know about this Bruno Fernandes kid. I haven't seen enough of him to give a valid opinion. So the two main players in this window, Pepe and Bruno Fernandes, I'm being brutally honest and say I haven't seen much of. Can you see the Fekir transfer happening? I hope so, Sean. That's all. I'm ready to be hurt all over again, mate, if this one doesn't happen, but I really hope so. And it makes sense on so many levels because the money will be right because he's got 1 year left. Aulas has already come out and said that he can leave Lyon this summer. It would be a good signing for me. Raiola said Besiktas are obligated to sign Karius. They are indeed, mate, if he hits certain targets. So he has to play a certain number of games, and then I think they have to qualify for... Well, I think some of the fee is based on some of this stuff, but also he has to play a certain amount of games and some other clauses in the contract. But you're right, in theory there is a 2-year loan to buy agreement in place there. Who should we sign for a striker? I think if we bring Fekir in, Duke, there won't be a striker bought, mate. I think Fekir will be somebody to play across that front three and to rotate in. Obviously, Divock Origi will probably get a new contract, which I think he thoroughly deserves. Ryan Brewster will get his opportunities as well, and that means we've got potentially 6 players for the front three, which is probably enough over the course of the season. Gary, I'm really good, mate. How are you? Good to see you in again. Can we play Gomez at left back? I suppose you probably could. Yeah, you probably could. Excuse me. We could play him at left back. You could play Milner at left back. You could even play, if you needed to, worst case scenario, you could play Fabinho at right back and switch Trent over. Yeah, there is options there. I got banned on Twitter for one day after making an account. One day, Alex. That is some going, mate. I was thinking of trying to set up a Twitter account just to see if I could get banned from the first tweet once, just for the laugh. What have we got? Ibrahim said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Do you know what, mate? I've always said this before. Somebody who puts their hands up and says sorry, I'm all for accepting it, mate. Do you know what I mean? No problem, Ibrahim. We'll put it behind us, my friend. Let's move on from here. You're back in the chat. Is Milner important for us? Oh God, yes. Yes, Nathan. He really, really, really is. Jurgen Klopp loves him, and I think with James Milner sometimes it goes beyond what he does on the pitch, although what he does on the pitch is vitally important at times. It's having him around the club, the dressing room, the experience, the word in the younger player's ear. I mean, all of that with James Milner just added to the fact that he's ridiculously fit. He's looked after himself his whole career. He's just a quality addition to have in the squad. I mean, I put him right up there with Gary McAllister when it comes to players we've signed late on in the career having a big impact at the club. Signing Fekir on Friday would make the day even better as I finish my A-levels. Then I can imagine him holding up the 6 fingers as he's revealed in the LFC shirt, said Hemme. Yeah, and then we would definitely have a FekirFriday, which would make it even sweeter. Sam said Fekir just gives us something different in the midfield, a bit of creativity, and goals or midfield is too similar. I agree with you there, my friend. Alex Reddo will end up signing somebody without any rumours like Fabinho. Probably. That probably will happen, and that's what makes this so exciting as well. I just said that to get a reaction because you're funny. That's alright. I mean, I could point out that you've misspelled your. It should be you are, so it should be YOU''RE Ibrahim, but we'll leave that behind us, mate. We'll push on past the grammar. But look, you got your reaction, so maybe it worked, Ibrahim. And do you know what, mate? I like a rant every now and again as well. So let's put it behind us, mate, and we'll move on. Turner from Celtic is back up to Robbo, said Gary. Yeah, the thing about that, Gary, is he's a class player, and I'd have no issues having him at the club, but would he be willing to come in and play backup? Or maybe he's one of these players, mate, that would actually back himself and say, do you know what? I can take on Robbo here. I can show the gaffer in training that I'm good and that I have a right to play. And I'd love to hear that from a player as well coming in. So, interesting. Where's that comment gone? Where was it gone? Where's the Tierney comment gone? How on earth did I just lose a comment that I read a second ago? The only way we get Lovren... Oh, yeah, let Lovren go. Right, let's get around to this. Right, Lovren. Sean Pale said, the only way we let Lovren go is if we have a backup in line to come in. I agree with that. So, let me move on to Dejan Lovren for a second. You've seen the rumours, no doubt, today, ladies and gentlemen, that he's linked to AC Milan. Now, the figure from the Italian side was around 20 million. The figure starting to come out from our side, dare I say it, is around 25 million. So there's not really much difference there. 25. It was Gary Woodcock, sorry about the Tierney comment. I've just seen that there now, or Tierney comment. I've said to you guys a couple of months ago that I believe we'd move Dejan Lovren on this year, and that I'd read somewhere, and again, I'm not trying to claim I had inside knowledge on this, I just happened to read an article a few months back that suggested that Dejan Lovren was wanted by a few clubs in Italy, and that he's at the point of his career now where injuries have started to take them their toll. And maybe the slower pace of the Italian league, maybe the warm weather might help with his injuries, I don't know, but it makes sense to me. And if we're going to move on a centre-back, Dejan Lovren is the one I'd move on. Now, there's been some very good points made by people that I respect as well on Twitter today, saying, yeah, but where are you going to replace Dejan Lovren and get a fourth choice centre-back for in and around the same type of money? It's a good question, and it's a question that deserves an answer. And the answer that us as fans would probably want to give is, fuck going for a fourth choice centre-back, let's go out there and get somebody in to challenge Virgil van Dijk and Jones and Matip, or Gomez, and Matip for the first choice centre-back position. But whether that happens or not, I don't know, because we'd seen Clavan come in before as the fourth choice. Nat Phillips, he's not ready, I think, to get promoted to fourth choice centre-back just yet, but I could be wrong on that one. I've always said, for me, Toby Alderweireld, if you're going to move on Degsy Lovren for 25 million quid, then turn that 25 million around, give it straight to Daniel Levy at Spurs, trigger that release clause or whatever it is supposed to be in Toby Alderweireld's contract this summer, and get him in for a couple of years while you allow Keanu Hoover to develop, and then you do have somebody to challenge Virgil van Dijk, Joe Gomez and Joe Matip. So that's my take on it, but of course I'd love to know what you guys think around this. Do you think we should sell Dejan Lovren? How should we replace Dejan Lovren if we do sell him? Or do you think this is all just absolute nonsense and there's no way Degsy's going anywhere? I want to see Curtis Jones, said MS2. Yeah, I'd say he'll probably get a good look in pre-season like he did last year, and he was very impressive in pre-season last year. I would say of the younger players, Curtis Jones was probably the standout player for me in pre-season last year. Bringing Coutinho back is like getting back together with your ex who cheated on you, said O-Dog, which I would, yeah. It's a good comparison and something I personally would never do with an ex. I just wouldn't be able to trust him. I think we're only getting one big player, said Seamus Smith. I suppose, mate, it depends on what we class as big, or what's the phrase that's often used. Bollocks. What's the phrase that's used? Marquee. Isn't that the word that's often used? Ryan Sessegnon, back up left back. What do you reckon? He's not a left back. Ryan is the answer. The short answer to that, mate. He played at left back for Fulham occasionally, and I love the kid, Ryan. I absolutely love him. So I'm not having a go at you about that, mate. He's more of a left wing back at a push, and the only links I've seen to him is Spurs. But as you've said, I'd love him, mate. I mean, if Liverpool went in and signed Ryan Sessegnon tomorrow, I'd be happy. Yeah, he's quality, but it looks like he wants to stay in London, even though there is a Liverpool love in that family somewhere. I think it looks like he's going to go to Spurs maybe, but again, how much do Daniel Levy give Pochettino to spend this summer? I don't know. Thank you, Ibrahim. It's okay, mate, and I apologise if earlier on I went too harsh on you. I just like, as you said you wanted the reaction. I like having reactions at times because it gives me a chance to vent as well. So look, as I said, buddy, we'll put it behind us. Thank you for coming back in. Thank you for the kind words, and again, it's all good. Don't worry about it, mate. Right, where have we got? What have we got on Dejan Lovren, ladies and gents? Don't rate Alderweireld one bit. He was responsible for a number of Spurs goals last season. I didn't watch enough of Spurs, mate, to say if that's right or wrong. From what I've seen of Alderweireld, he looks decent. I just think it's a short-term fix, really, going at. Is where I'm going with that, mate. It's a short-term fix to allow Keanu Hoover to develop for a reasonable price, the same type of money as you'd move Dejan Lovren on for. Now, what I don't know about Alderweireld, and maybe somebody could help me out with this one, is what's his injury situation like? Does he miss many games? Because if he does, and then we're replacing Lovren with another injury-prone player, then that will be pointless, and my argument will be completely mute. But if he doesn't have that bad of an injury record, then that's the direction I'd like us to go. But then again, my opinion means jack shit. Conor Murray said, did you see Fekir is confirmed to leave Lyon by the club and could leave for as little as 15 mil or as high as 50 mil? I'd love to see him at Anfield. Yeah, I started off the stream, Conor, mate, by talking about Fekir, and I love him. Love him, mate. And I think the truth probably does lie somewhere in the middle of those two figures that you've mentioned. I think 30 is probably a reasonable amount. Maybe a few add-ons, because he is going into the last year of his contract, and although that isn't as detrimental to a player's value as it used to be, it does affect it to some degree. 67 said Lovren is a headless chicken when facing big teams. I get where you're coming from, and he has had complete brain fart moments. I mean, I'll never forget the Spurs game. I was on my holidays in Florida, and luckily enough, the house that we were renting had the channel that the game was on. The game where Spurs beat us 4-1, I think it was, at Wembley. And Lovren was shocking. Like, it was one of the worst performances I'd seen. But I want to give him credit because he fought back from there and put in a long string of very good performances. So I get where you're coming from. I will always look back on Dejan Lovren's time at Liverpool if he does leave as with fond memories. I have to say I will. Everybody's going to make mistakes at times playing for a club like Liverpool under the pressure that they're under. But one thing we often talk about when we get a player to the football club is that we want them to play for the shirt and we want them to give everything for the shirt. And none of us can sit here and say that Dejan Lovren did not give 100% for Liverpool Football Club because he loves Liverpool Football Club. He really he wanted to come here so badly, and he's really enjoyed his time here, and I think he's been a good addition to the football club. So if he moves on, I'll just wish him the best. If you've seen the documentary about his life as well, he had to fight his whole life, Dejan Lovren, to get where he is, and nothing but respect for me for Degsy. But he has had those brain farts, as you said. I don't know. I like Dejan Lovren. There's something about him that I just relate to. He's a happy lad. I love his bromance with Mo Salah as well, by the way. That's been a highlight over the past year. It's been brilliant. Or mate, longer than a year. Is there anything about Werner? Asks Sonny. Nah, mate. Other than what I said yesterday, that Bayern Munich are willing to play the long game and let him see out his contract at RB Leipzig and then sign him for free next year. I like Curtis Jones, great potential, said Adam Parks. I don't think Lovren's going anywhere. He already said a few weeks ago he's not going anywhere. Could stay, Brandon, mate. As I said, he loves the club. I think the decision on this will probably come down to Dejan Lovren, because I believe Jurgen Klopp would probably be happy to have him and keep him here. But if Lovren feels, or he has a conversation with the manager, maybe the manager said, look, hand on heart, Dejan, you're behind Joe Gomez, Virgil van Dijk and Joel Matip, and if you're willing to accept that, mate, then we're happy to have you here. If you'd like to move on and get first team football, then you would never stand in a player's way that wants to play. And that's kind of the way I think the conversation would go. But again, I'm just guessing. Matip's come out talking about going to Schalke. I was reading the other day. Going back to Schalke, sorry Liam. I don't think he'll be leaving us this summer though, not after the level of performances he's just put in. I mean, the club should be looking to tie him down, give him a couple of years extension. He can play left back though, said Epic. He can. If you're talking about Ryan Sessegnon, if that's where we're going back with this, yes, he has played left back for Fulham. He's played there for a while, but he's always been touted as moving further forward, and he's been suspect as a defender, to be fair. How much time do you think Brewster will get next season? The honest answer is that will depend on pre-season and how he starts when he does get an opportunity. Jurgen Klopp will manage his development carefully, as you do with all young players. There seems to be a pattern with young players that you give them a little taste, you pull them back away for a while, You keep training with them, you keep working with them, you keep developing their mindset as well. You reintroduce them again, because what often happens with younger players is there's peaks and troughs, there's ups and downs. And the trick is to try and get it just right, so as when the player has his downs, the fan base don't get on his back and don't write him off. Because look, let's put our hands up in the air here. Liverpool fans, and I include myself in this, we've been too quick to write players off at times. When I think back of when Adam Lallana first came here, he was written off for a while, and then he went through a brilliant period. Jordan Henderson, I don't need to remind anybody about Jordan Henderson, the amount of people that wrote him off. So we've done it as fans, and I don't want it to happen to Ryan Brewster, because I honestly have nothing but high hopes for this kid. He could be the next Michael Owen, Robbie Fowler, Steven Gerrard. He could be that young player that just you can't hold back because he's too good. And if you're good enough, you're old enough. Now sell Mignolet and Karius, and we're embarrassment free, said Ashwan. Look, I'm not going to really say anything on that, because I used to absolutely slate Simon Mignolet, and I mean in a big way. Karius, I have a soft spot for because of what happened in the Champions League final, and I can only imagine he wants the ground to open and swallow him up. Like, how long is Degsy contracted for? Hand on heart, Nigga, but I don't know what's left on his contract, mate. No one will forget that goal against Dortmund from Lovren to Anthony Cronin. The man leapt like a salmon out of the Boyne. I don't even know if there is salmon in the Boyne, but let's pretend that there is. The man leapt like a salmon out of the river to score that goal against Borussia Dortmund. And the slide afterwards on his knees as well. He's going to go down in folklore at Liverpool for that in that moment alone, isn't it? Like, what a goal. What a goal to win an amazing game as well. Right, we'll keep moving on, ladies and gents, but as you can see, we're only 18 subscribers away from the next 100, so if you are watching and you're enjoying the stream, please do hit that button. Lovren problem is, he's going to do something stupid, said Aidan Andrews. Lovren should go now because he cost us the league. How did he cost us the league, mate? Please expand on that one. That's very fucking harsh. How did Dejan Lovren cost us the league? I'm genuinely intrigued to know how he cost us the league. Maybe I've missed out on something very obvious, so I'm holding back here. I'm not going to have a go. Adam Park said, Craig, have you seen the Trent Alexander-Arnold documentary with Jamie Carragher? Yeah, it's brilliant, and I'd advise everybody, if you get a chance, to try and check it out. It's on Sky. It was very good. He kind of followed him around for the season and talked about what's going on in different stages, and it was very good, yeah, and very enjoyable. He's turned into the centre-back I thought you'd signed, said Boya. Is this in regards to Degsley? I think Dejan Lovren's been quite good. I don't know where that pitch of my voice went to there, by the way, but yeah, I think I'll look back on him as a good signing for Liverpool. Not a great signing, but a good signing. Crosby Red said, nope, sorry, you're replying to somebody else. Let's bring in Adrian as a backup goalkeeper. I'd have no problem with that whatsoever, Nageb. No problem whatsoever, mate. Actually, I'd rather do that than go out and spend 10 million quid on the guy from Cardiff, Etheridge. That would make more sense to me, because it's very rare for keepers to pick up long-term injuries. It happens. Of course it does happen, and I'm not going to say it doesn't, because they do. But, yeah, I mean, the odds are he's probably going to sit in the bench. But even at that, Adrian's capable, so I'd have no issues with Adrian being the backup goalkeeper. Milner can't keep covering as a left back, said Dara. He doesn't like playing there either, mate. He's at that point in his career now where he's in the twilight of his career, and he just wants to play. And I remember Klopp saying in the press conference after, was it the Napoli game or was it the Athletic Bilbao game in Dublin at the time, he said having Milner back and being able to play in midfield again is like a new signing, and he was right, it was. What else we got? Anthony said, Craig, I followed on Twitter. Thank you, Anthony, appreciate that, mate. If anybody ever does, by the way, want to give the account a follow on Twitter, it's at Anfield Agenda. Really straightforward. Same on Instagram as well. We have the name on both accounts. Lovren can be useful in cup matches, said Crosby Red. I think Brewster will get cup games, League Cup games and FA Cup games, come off the bench. Yeah, again, I think a lot for him, Limo, will depend on pre-season, mate, and how he does. And I think he'll get minutes. I think Jones will get minutes as well. There's some news on Ryan Kent as well, which I'll get to in a little bit. Saying he cost us the league against City was harsh. Yeah, it is. I mean, why is that game the one that cost us the league? Why not the draw against Everton? Why not the draw against Manchester United? Why does it have to be that game against against City that cost us the league. It's harsh. You could pick out very many moments. Any of the draws. Pick any of the draws that we had, and you could say they're the ones that cost us the league. It's really straightforward. Like to pick them out for that moment. Look, it's an easy, low hanging fruit, I suppose. But look, everybody's entitled to their own views. John Hannafy said the Trent documentary is available on YouTube now. Brilliant, John. Thank you so much, mate, for that, because I know people would love to watch it. So yeah, as John said, maybe give it a search on YouTube, because it is very much worth watching. And thank you again, John. Every time Van Dijk sprints, I worry he's going to do his hamstring. Does he sprint though? He just seems to stride Alpha G and he gets there. Do you know what I mean? Did you see the one with Raheem Sterling in the England-Holland game? Was a perfect example. Like, he looked like he was nowhere, and then a couple of steps later and he's at the ball. Love him. Brian Morrissey said sub to at LCFC Boya, which is our friend Anthony's account. I said this before. Boya runs a brilliant Leicester City account and just is a really good guy. So yeah, do pop over and subscribe to his channel if you like football content, because he makes damn good content. Also, a couple of shout outs as well. I've had the pleasure of interacting a lot with the official Shankly shop on Twitter, and I have to say they're such lovely people. We know the Shankly family, we know about the history and the origins of the Shankly family, we know the Shankly Hotel as well, which is fantastic, and I'm hoping that sometime next year we get to go over and actually film a little walk around of the Shankly Hotel, so that we can show you guys on here and maybe give people an overview of the place that won't get to see it perhaps. It's brilliant, by the way, absolutely brilliant. So yeah, I just want to give a shout out. I want to take a moment to give a shout out to the official. Is it the official Shankly shop or the official Shankly store? Let me get this correct. I don't want to ruin this. Let me just pull this up here. It's the official ShanklyShop.com. So if you like your Shankly stuff, you want to get a Shankly Gates t-shirt or scarf or other bits and pieces like that, please do check out the official ShanklyShop.com, because they've got some good stuff on there. They've only launched recently enough as well, and look, we know about the history of Bill Shankly and what he did for this football club. He put the club on the map, and it's lovely to see his family keeping that history going and keeping his memory alive, which of course he would be with Liverpool football fans anyway, but cannot say enough good things about them from interacting with them. Such a lovely bunch, and I wish them all the best, and I've told them anything we can do to help or publicise them, we'd be proud to do it, because they are their family and that family name stands for so much with this football club. So it would be just simply a pleasure to let you guys know about it as well. Lovren's contract runs out in 2021. I think it's best for him to move on. And also as well, don't forget the 12thmen.com as well, who have given us 3 of those wonderful singing scarves to give away. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel and you'll be in with a chance to win one of those. We're picking the winner next Wednesday. And if you want to go to the 12thmen.com and buy yourself a singing scarf, if you put in the code Anfield Agenda at checkout, you'll get 10% off. And Paul and the guys at the 12thmen.com will give £1 of every sale to a mental health charity as well, which is very kind of them indeed. So again, another good reason, and thank you for the giveaways as well. We're giving away one on Twitter, one on YouTube, and one on Instagram, so make sure you're following the 3 accounts. And again, another thing we're trying to give away. Lovren wasn't the worst, wasn't the best. I wish him the best in the future if he leaves, said Skipper Dog. Craig, what fixture would you want from the first game? Nick, mate, I don't mind, honestly. I'd like us to be at home, if that's possible, because I like to kick off the season at Anfield. But other than that, I don't mind. There's 2 ways of thinking about this. You could maybe pick up one of the difficult sides and try and catch them on the hop early. So maybe an early Manchester City who perhaps wouldn't be in their full stride yet. There's that thought process. But it could also go the other way, and maybe you could be caught out a little bit early on. So I don't mind. As I said earlier on, you play everybody twice, so it works itself out in the end. So we're not going after Pepe. Klopp doesn't want to spend a lot of money, said EJ Estonak. God almighty, that's a difficult name for me to say. A couple of things, as I said on Pepe earlier on. Stevie Nicol said he looks gangly and he isn't sure about him in the Premier League. And then I read something on the official club site in the transfer section which said Liverpool have been linked to Nil star Nicolas Pepe this summer, but the Anfield Chiefs have a theory on the rumours. The Reds believe their name has been used to promote interest in the 23-year-old who's expected to make a big switch, but the Evening Standard claimed that Liverpool have no interest in Nicolas Pepe. Again, take that what you want. Rodders, I've had nobody else send the audios out of sync, mate. If it's out of sync, let me know, people. Mr. Clean said the audio is fine, and I usually trust Brian Morrissey on these things, and he hasn't sent me a message to say anything about the audio, so just refresh it, I would say, mate. Can't believe we tied against West Ham. You mean drew? Yeah, there was some mad results, mate. Did we though? We beat West Ham 4-1. I can't even remember. Did we draw away from home against West Ham? I can't remember the result. I doubt Lovren will want to leave, said Adam. The goalie allowed to Aguero, poor. Yeah, but everybody made mistakes during the season, mate. Everybody. We can point to Alisson. He made a couple of mistakes. Van Dijk wasn't faultless throughout the season. I just think it's a little bit harsh on Diggsy. Maybe I just have a soft spot for him, so maybe I should just move on and let everybody have their own opinions on him. Nabil Fekir is not coming to Liverpool. Sell Lovren and buy Ligt. I don't think we're even in for Ligt, Jim Bob, if the truth be told. And I hope you're wrong on Fekir. You could well be right, but I hope you're wrong because I really want to sign him because I love Nabil Fekir and I just love to see him at the club. Kev has put a link in there to the 12men.com to the discount code, but even if you don't use that code, you can just put in the words Anfield Agenda at checkout and that works as well. My standout Van Dijk moment was Van Dijk versus Spurs, Van Dijk versus Son, and Sissoko backtracking, said Antoango. Yeah, Van Dijk's been class, hasn't he? I mean, we had a conversation around Virgil van Dijk and the Ballon d'Or as well, and that is on the channel, by the way. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, please do. I know a lot of you have, and thank you for the comments on there. Myself, Brian and Connor sat down and we discussed whether Virgil van Dijk deserves to win the Ballon d'Or or not. It's a short video, it's only about 15 minutes, so as I said, if you haven't looked at it, please check it out. And I had a chat with Cash as well that went up yesterday, about 40-45 minutes long. We spoke about the new concussion rule that UEFA are looking to bring in 2021. We spoke about transfers, and we spoke about... What was the other thing we spoke about? I can't actually remember now what the other thing we spoke about was. No, I can't remember. But I enjoyed my chat with Cash, I always do. So again, if you get a chance, please check that out. Any news on Etheridge? Nothing other than Villa had an £8 million bid turned down. Liverpool are rumoured to be interested, and the price seems to be 10 million from what I can gather. People say Fabinho was gangly, but he's a beast. He is an absolute beast, Adam. I love him. Love him at the club. Audio is bang on, said Adam. Thank you. Appreciate that. Sean Bailey said, let's step up and get the treble, lads. You'll never walk alone. Thank you for the super chat, Sean. First one of the night, mate. I appreciate it. The treble would be nice, wouldn't it? Fuck the treble, mate. Let's get the... What's it called for 7? Sextuplet? No, that's 6. What's 7 called? We want 7 anyway, mate. We want the Charity Shield. We want the European Super Cup. We want the World Club Cup. The World Club Cup. No? Was that what me and Cash talked about? I don't know. We want the World Club Cup. We want the Champions League, the Premier League, the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup. We want it all, mate, because we're greedy. And why not? We should be greedy. You spoke about ticket prices. Thank you, John. That was it. We spoke about the ticket prices for the pre-season tour to America. Really appreciate you bailing me out there, John. Fekir in his last year of his contract, hence the lower price. I don't think 15 million is going to happen though, Stephen. That's just too cheap. Even at the last year of his contract. I think the truth will probably lie somewhere in the middle of that. 50 and 15, probably 25, 30-ish. Any news on Sarri going to Juve? Yes, it looks like it's getting close. There's talk of obviously Frank Lampard going into Chelsea to replace him, which I don't know. How do they sack Frank Lampard then in a year or two and still keep him as a club legend? That's going to be interesting because we know it's very unusual for Chelsea to keep managers longer than a couple of seasons. So let's see what happens to Mr. Lampard if he goes into Chelsea. I think Ligt should stay at Ajax, said Mossy Kyo. Do you know, mate, it wouldn't be a bad thing. There was talk about this earlier on. I read an article about the Ajax players and where they're rumoured to be going and stuff, and they reckon that he should stay there for another year, and the article also reckoned that Neres should probably stay there for another year and get more experience. Ziyech was an interesting one. I know a lot of Liverpool fans want Ziyech. I've seen nothing linking us to him, genuinely. 7 Heaven, there you go, David Newell. That'll do, mate. 7 Heaven will do perfectly, and Gary as well. Crosby Red said, podcast with Cash was brilliant, thought-provoking and entertaining. More, please. Thank you. We are looking, by the way, we had to ditch our podcast hosting site because they were just dog shit, if the truth be told. I was having massive issues with them trying to work through something with iTunes and they were just useless, so unhelpful. So we're going to look to, we will keep recording and posting podcasts on YouTube, but we're looking to sign up with a new podcast hosting site to get the podcast out there in MP3 form. Imagine if we'd done that, everybody would have to face Origi's levels above Messi and Ronaldo, said Sean Bailey. I'd be mad, people's heads would melt, mate. Brian Morrissey said, my favourite Van Dijk moment is everything he does all the time. The man is too good to point in one moment. Septuplet, said Crosby Red Jones, thank you. I'd swap all of them for number 19, just saying, go lads, I'm with you, mate. I would, if you offered me the title now and nothing else next season, I'd bite your hand off, mate. I said it at the start of this season as well. Premier League title was always the number one priority, and you know what, the Champions League is not a bad, I won't say second fiddle, but it's not a bad thing to win. Imagine if we win the quadruple before City. I honestly, I don't give a shit about City anymore. Connor sent me something. How many times do I say Connor sent me something, by the way, because it happens a lot. He sent me something on Manchester City a few minutes ago. Where the hell is it? I'm sure it was him. Maybe it went into the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp group. Something came up about Manchester City. I don't know what group it went into. Sorry guys, it's interesting, which is why I'm trying to find it for you. No, I can't find it. I just cannot find it. It was basically saying that UEFA are going to push ahead and put the ban on Manchester City from the Champions League, regardless of what Manchester City are looking to do. Here we go. It came from the Mail Online Sport. It said Manchester City facing Champions League ban within weeks despite fighting UEFA's investigation in court. That's the headline from the article, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Kahina said, is it Kahina? I hope that's pronounced correctly. Am I the only one that thinks Gomez is a better prospect than Ligt? I don't think you are. Honestly, I know a couple of people in our own WhatsApp group think the same thing as you, and I've seen people on Twitter say that we're overlooking just how good Joe Gomez is, and he's definitely class, absolutely class. For me, it's just a worry of another injury, but other than that, I'd be with you. And so I would actually go and say at this moment in time, he's better quality than Ligt. Chav it down. I haven't even opened the Chav, Gary. Is this the first time I'm going to open a can of Diet Chav on the stream? Hang on, let me get... Oh, can't even do that right. Oh, how good does that sound? Love me some Diet Coke. If you're watching Diet Coke, do you know what I mean? I mean, doesn't this look like the physique of a man that you want to be sponsoring? Clearly not. Imagine me on an 80-foot billboard, can of Diet Coke in hand, going... that would sell millions, wouldn't it? Millions of cans of Pepsi Max. Who's the best midfielder in the world? I say it's Bernardo Silva. I don't know. Bernardo Silva is absolutely class. I think De Bruyne is better though when De Bruyne is fit. Hendo will be the several general, said Brian Kelly. I like that one. Lewis will be a good backup for Robertson, said train for tomorrow. Yeah, Adam Lewis is definitely highly rated, mate, and we spoke about him a few times. He's doing really well for the under-23s and definitely somebody who the club would look to fast track through. There are going to be big signings. City, United will buy and Tottenham will buy one or two. Yeah, they're saying that this could be the first £1 billion transfer window. That there's going to be some things that are set off that just trigger another thing, and you've got possibly Pogba. There's stuff around Neymar. Obviously we've seen Kylian Mbappe as well. He's up for possibly moving on to a new project. Eden Hazard gone to Real Madrid. Griezmann looks like he's about to go to Barcelona, and you know, that's a lot of money already right there from what we've just spoken about. Craig, have Diet Coke not sponsored you yet? No, not even a free can, Adam. Do you know what I mean? Not even a free can or a free Der Spiegel newspaper. Nothing. I made a pitch to Adidas, by the way, Take the Piss pitch on Twitter the other day, which some people actually took seriously, which I found very funny. I basically wore a pink Adidas headband with a Reebok hoodie and put a picture up saying, if this doesn't get me sponsored by Adidas, I don't know what will. City ain't getting banned this season. I've read the agenda for the corporate arbitration with sports. It ain't on that list, so it won't be. Well, to be fair, Mr. Cleaner, again, you might understand this infinitely better than me. I'm just very naive on this. I would agree they probably won't get the ban because they can't put it on their schedule yet if there hasn't been ban. There's no ban to speak of. So I think they'd have to wait until. I know Manchester City filed papers to try and preempt it, but surely they'd have to wait for any ban to come from UEFA before they can instigate a hearing. Because if not, there's nothing to be heard because there is no ban. So it'll be interesting, and I agree with you. I think it won't be this season. I think it'll be the following season. So they'll go all out to win the Champions League this year, which might leave them a little bit open in the league to allow the Reds to just pop in there and grab number 19. Crosby Red said Pep will leave the City of no Champions League, but will give them an advantage domestically with no midweek games. I don't think it will be this season. I think, as our friend said there, Mr. Cleaner, is it Mr. Cleaner? A second ago, that if they appeal it, they'll probably get this season, and then it might be next season if the ban stands. Kahina said, I hope Man United keep Pogba. He's poison for them. Keep him there. They're up shit creek, United. Yeah, they really are. And there was a little piece I read actually on United and our deal with Virgil van Dijk. Ed Woodward is reportedly disappointed that Manchester United were beaten to the punch by Liverpool and Virgil van Dijk. According to the Evening Standard, Manchester United's top brass do not believe rivals Liverpool overspent on the Van Dijk deal. In fact, the paper claimed that Woodward and co have been somewhat inspired by the success of the pricey transfer and have plans to bankroll United this summer in a bid to strengthen their defence. Right, first and foremost, Mr. Woodward, sir, there's absolutely no fucking way Virgil van Dijk would have gone to Manchester United. They were in a shambles. He had Manchester City, Chelsea, Liverpool as options. Why on earth would he have chosen to go to Manchester United? There's just no way. Van Dijk fell in love with Liverpool a long time ago when he was playing with Southampton here. There's a rumour that he was walking off the field and he turned around to somebody and said, why wouldn't you want to play here? Why would you not want to play here in this stadium? He fell in love with the club, and it happens, and it's great, and we love it. And we broke 75 million from, and it's worth every damn penny, and it's turned out to be a great transfer for the club. And I know that this article was intended to be kind of complimentary towards Liverpool because they don't believe we overspent on him, but at the same time, let's be realistic. He was never going to Manchester United. He was never an option for Manchester United. Mendy to Madrid, said Engeb. Yep, that was done earlier on today. Court of Arbitration for Sport doesn't ban City, UEFA do. Court of Arbitration for Sports where they would appeal to. Yes, absolutely correct. But I think what Mr. Cleaner was saying was that he read through their schedule and that it wasn't on it yet. 50 million for Fekir is a no-brainer. That's similar to what we paid for Shaqiri. Does anybody believe the £15 million thing, by the way? Because I don't, personally. I think he's worth more than that. I think they could get more than that from. Now, all I can think of is that perhaps there's an agreement in place between himself and Leon that's the fee. I don't know. But I want to know, what do you guys think? Is that real? The 50 million quid. Do you think that's what he'll go for, or do you think that's just a random amount thrown out there? Craig, has Der Spiegel reported any more on Ronaldo's allegations? I haven't seen anything. There's also been allegations against Neymar. I'm sure you guys have seen those as well, which I don't want to speak about either on the stream because I don't want to get into legal shaky grounds. But I haven't seen anything else. Crosby Red. What else we got? We have to get Fekir. We don't have a free kick specialist. We've Trent Alexander-Arnold, bads. He's pretty damn good with a free kick, but I get where you're coming from. We're only 2 titles away from wiping United's history, said V8 Dyke. We're only 1 title away from going ahead of them with regards to trophies. Both clubs have 42 major trophies. 1 more for the Reds. We'll see them push on. Guys, we have 445 amazing people watching the stream as we speak. If there's 12 people that haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please do hit that button because we're edging towards 17k and 12 will get us to our next target of 16,900, which is only 100 away, and every 1,000 feels like a bit of a little fiesta. I'm not going to lie, from a content provider's point of view, we really do celebrate every 1,000 subscribers, so help us push on there. Let your friends know about us. Share the stream perhaps if you haven't done that before. There is links below there. You can see there's Facebook, Twitter, Reddit and various other ways you can share the stream. We promise we won't do you for copyright. We want you to share the content. We want you guys to clip up little bits and put it out there into social media land. We'll never chase you down for it. We promise you that much. So where's this 50 mil coming from? It's been doing the rounds, mate. A couple of people talked about that being the figure. I don't know. Adam Park said it's too little for Fekir. Everybody said we overpaid for VVD. Yeah, they don't think that now, my friend, though, do they, Crosby Red? They are all sitting back going, when did they announce the Ballon d'Or winner? Honest answer is these? I don't know off the top of my head, mate. I'm trying to think back. Does anybody know when they announced the Ballon d'Or winner? It's a really good question, mate. And since we spoke about the topic, I probably should have the answer to that one. He would have already been sold at that price, said Craig Crosby. That makes absolute sense to me as well. Like 15 million, it seems a no-brainer. Connor said, I've had enough legal shady grounds for one day. Yeah, Connor's our little old Connor Crosby has had legal threats against them today for I don't want to get into it too much on this stream, but it's not been a great day for Mr. Crosby. But for me, my personal opinion on this, if anybody's watching, it's just my personal opinion, it's a fucking shakedown and they're just trying to get money out of him. But that's my opinion on it, not from a legal standpoint. Just from a chancer, looking at another chancer, trying to get money out of somebody, it seems like a shakedown to me. It was a journalist that mentioned that figure, said Kahina, thank you for that. At least 25,000 subs by the end of the year, said Pranav. Do you know what? That's really funny because Dave Henry put that exact figure on it. He said on Twitter earlier on, I bet that they get to 25k by January the 1st. I honestly don't know. I have no idea what way it'll go. People saying 50 million for Fekir because his last year of his contract, but that means very little these days. The Gonads, the £50 million figure was a figure of speech indicated that he would be cheaper than before. I appreciate that, thank you. Ballon d'Or is around Christmas time, I think, said Escapado. Liverpool have apparently wrapped up the Fekir deal, fee of £17 million rumoured. They're likely to announce the deal on Friday to market the now infamous FekirFriday. Oh, jeez. Oh, Kieran, you're teasing me, mate. I'd love a bit of FekirFriday, I really would. Daniel Nichols, Pepe, welcome to Liverpool, said, Hi Craig, have you seen that Liverpool have been linked with Vinicius Jr. from Real Madrid? Daniel, I read something. The only thing I read about Vinicius Jr. to Real or to Liverpool was when there was an article about Mane being linked to Real Madrid. And there was a talk of Real Madrid asked Liverpool what they wanted, and that there was a figure of £170 million plus Vinicius Jr. mentioned in this article is what Real Madrid were quoted. Other than that, mate, I haven't seen anything linking him to Liverpool. And I haven't even seen much of the kid at Real Madrid because I don't like Real Madrid, so I watch them as little as possible. Alpha G said, I saw it on legal paperwork, he literally admitted to it, I think. Which is this? Well, what are we admitting to? Brian Morris, he said, they announced the Ballon d'Or winner when VVD says that they can. That makes sense. I'm all over that one. Pranav said, I'm confident around the 25k subs mark. Brandon Carter said, I think 30k by Christmas. I don't know, guys. I'm just... I know I pitch for subs all the time, and I know people sometimes... It's weird. I don't understand with the way where some people say... Someone said last night about going out with a begging cap for subs. Kind of is the whole point of the channel, or any channel. For us in particular, because we're so interactive, we want new people to chat to. We want to meet more Reds around the world. So yeah, the more the merrier, which is why I keep saying do hit the subscribe button, because we want to meet new Reds. That's what the channel exists for, to form a community on here. Thank you, Mossy. I love that, mate. Thank you so much. Mossy said I'm amazing, by the way. I love that, Mossy. Could you say that to me, wife? Would that be alright, Mossy? Would you write that down? Can we call this a contract? Would love Fekir, said Arda. Getting braces in 3 weeks, and are Rabiot or Redmond linked with Liverpool? Firstly, mate, with the braces, long term, it'll be, you won't regret it, mate. I wish I had got them when I was younger. I had an opportunity to, and now I've got weird little fucked up teeth. I've got tiny little teeth. Have you seen the size of this tiny little mouth? For something that so much shite comes out of. Yeah, but mate, don't worry about it. Get them, it'll be brilliant, and you won't regret it in the long term. Sure, how many people as adults may pay thousands to get braces? Rabiot, I haven't seen much of. Fran recently, and Redmond's, that link seems to be an old link off the top of my head, but I don't want Redmond at Liverpool. He's not good enough. Would you take Coutinho back? We did that a little bit earlier on, Kieran. It will be around the price for me, mate, and realistically I don't want them, but if you got him at a knockdown price, and I mean really knockdown price, I'm talking like 50 million, that would be kind of the only figure I would like Liverpool to consider. But nah, I don't think so, mate. I'm a spiteful fucker and I don't like the way he left. Zafilio said, journalists will make up anything for a story, but the Fekir one seems pretty likely. Not much time on his contract with Leon. Things have gone quiet around him lately. I really hope you're right, mate. I really do. What's Neil saying? Sorry if you answered, I missed that. On which one, mate? Was there another one? Did I miss one of your comments, Neil? I'm scrolling back through, buddy. I can't see it. I'm sorry. I don't know if I've missed something. Boy, I'll talk to you really soon, mate. Always a pleasure. There he is. There's Steve. Fakir. Steve, by the way, is retroonlim.com. Hashtag FekirFriday, Steve. You love a bit of FekirFriday. I remember that from last year, mate. So does this story of Milan being after Lovren mean we'll be getting Ligt? I would say absolutely not. Escape Auto. The story to Milan could be absolutely true. But we all thought today that Ligt looked like he was going to PSG. Then Connor put into the chat and said that Mino Raiola has rubbish rumours linking him to Paris Saint-Germain. Does he go to Barcelona? Do United make a big play and get Mathijs Ligt? I don't know. I just don't think he'll end up at Liverpool, if I'm honest. Cameron said, "Hey Craig, just joined the chat. Who would be a great signing? Femoral? Automatic upgrade on Lallana. Imagine threading passes to Salah, Mane, Firmino." Did you mean Fernandes? Is that who you meant? Or have I missed a player that I just don't know about? Yeah, let me know, Cameron. Sorry. David Newell said, "I hope we don't do a Tottenham and not buy anybody. We're in the best position we could be to buy world-class talent. It's not standstill." Yeah, I agree we have to sign players. I don't know about us having to go and sign... I don't like the phrase world-class talent, but I also understand what you mean. We should be shopping at the top table. And you can't stand still. It would be very foolish of us to stand still and not add to the squad. Now, we understand Jurgen Klopp will probably want to reward the players that have done so well from this season, and that makes sense. They do deserve to be rewarded, but at the same time, it's clear that we haven't got a big enough squad depth to challenge across all the competitions. We had to kind of jib the two domestic cups this year to some extent, and we don't want to do that next year. We want to try and challenge for everything, so you need a stronger squad overall. Apparently Leon are willing to accept a cheaper price for Fekir due to the medical incident last time around, said Steve Cook. Kieran Singh said if Liverpool do finally sign Fekir this summer but don't announce him on Friday with the hashtag FekirFriday, was it even worth it then? Probably not, Kieran, I agree. Need to have a bit of hashtag FekirFriday, don't you? And I tell you this, if Fekir signs for Liverpool, even though I already have the home shirt, I will get his name on the back of a shirt this year because I will be so damn happy if he signs. Wasn't the Ballon d'Or in July, just after the World Cup, when Modric won it? There's a shout in there, Tom. There is a shout in there. He definitely was after the World Cup, but I think it might have been a bit later. But it was after the World Cup, mate. You're spot on about that. I asked who would you replace over starting 11, and who and with who. It depends. What do we class as a starting 11, Neil? Right, let me give you a starting 11 and then I'll have a bash at it. So obviously Alisson, Trent, Gomez, Van Dijk, Robertson. I'm not replacing any of those whatsoever because there isn't any replacing in them. I think they're all perfect. Midfield, Fabinho, let's say Henderson and Naby Keita. This is where it gets difficult. Could you upgrade on Jordan Henderson? Probably, if the truth be told. As much as I love him and as much as I want him at the club and as much as he'll be our captain, you could upgrade on him. I don't think we will, but you could. And then the front three, there's probably not much upgrading on, so it will probably be someone in the central midfield position as an option, as the only thing I could think of. And I hate to pick out Jordan Henderson because I really think the world of the guy, but it's the only one I could think of that I could possibly think we could upgrade. Keith Wood said, with your current growth, expect to reach 50k subs around February 2020 according to Social Blade. Thank you very much, Ken. I love Social Blade. Did I say Keith Woods? Did I actually call you Keith Woods, thinking of the rugby player? Ken Woods, sorry mate. And thank you. I love Social Blade, by the way. I'm forever on Social Blade. Hashtag FekirFriday, said Bear. All accepting Liverpool's asking price, said Matt Caldwell. Ballon d'Or is in October/November, said Ethan. Thank you very much. Fantastic Fekir, said Steve Cook. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is indeed changing to the number 15 shirt gonads. Yes, thank you, mate. We spoke about that the other day. He's taken the Daniel Sturridge shirt, and I think anyone that has bought an Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain shirt for this season with his old number on it, I think the club are exchanging them. I think Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's actually paying for that himself, but I think they are exchanging them. If you bought it from the club, I should say. What are your thoughts on Lovren? Sorry if you've already spoken on it. We did, mate, but I'm happy to go back over for you. he's a fourth choice centre back, and I think he'll probably have a conversation with Jurgen Klopp, and Jurgen Klopp will probably say, "Look, Dejan, we like having you here. You're a good member of the squad. You're behind Joe Gomez, Van Dijk and Joe Matip at the moment. If you're happy to stay here, we're happy to have you. If you want to move on for first team football at 30 years of age or so, I can understand that." I probably think that's the way it'll go. And if he does move on, it's understandable, and I wish him the best. I did say, as I said earlier on, a couple of months ago, that there's links to him in Italy, and Italy again has popped its head up now. It does kind of suit, probably the slower pace will probably suit Dejan Lovren. But I've nothing but fond memories of him. Train tomorrow said should integrate academy players with the first team during the Super Cup to see how they do. I'd say pre-season is probably more likely, mate, to try that one. There's a couple of bits actually I missed out on. Ryan Kent, yes, remind me about Ryan Kent in 2 minutes when I get through some more of these comments. Heads over hearts, sell Origi, well, potential, decent market value, Wilson, Kent, Lovren and Lallana. Yeah, look, I know everybody differs on the whole Divock Origi thing, and I hand on heart, I can understand both sides of the argument. I'm not going to be just blinded by the goals that he scored this season, the important goals that he scored. I can understand both sides of the argument. For me, I think that Divock Origi in 2 years will be a really high quality forward. I just think he hasn't fully developed yet and fully hit his prime. I think he's starting to see the confidence that sometimes he was lacking, and you could see in him at times that that's all he was lacking, because he has all the attributes. He's got pace, power, height, an eye for goal, good with both feet, as we've seen in the Champions League final with the left-footed goal. I'd keep him. As I said, I'd keep him because I'd hate to see him excel somewhere else and know that we had an opportunity to extend his contract. But that's me, and as I said, I do understand both people's thought process. V for Vendetta, do I like rugby union? I watch it. I wouldn't say I'm a big fan, but I'd certainly watch the sport, yeah. You get a free exchange at Kahina. You have to prove, I think, that you bought it from the club store or one of the official club stores. Is the Fekir deal true? Maybe he wanted the club to wait to see how his knee got on over a season. I don't know if it's true, Breadsticks. I just hope it's true, mate. What number would Fekir take? Good question. There are people who obsess about numbers, so I'll put that one to the chat. Fekir, if he came in, what number would he take? Stop being nostalgic about Lovren and Origi. We've moved on. We haven't though yet though. That's the thing. Origi, I don't know what your opinion, Brian, is on Origi, mate, but for me he should very much still be here. We're not financially desperate. Keep Origi, said Alpha G. Mossy, talk to you soon, mate. Hendo needs to stay. He's the heart of Liverpool along with Millie. 100% Antoine go. God, don't get me wrong, mate. I'm not saying Jordan Henderson. I was just saying replace him from the starting 11 if we were to bring in somebody. But I don't want to see Jordan Henderson go anywhere. He's the captain of this football club. He will go down in history as a European Cup winning captain of Liverpool Football Club. And I love Jordan Henderson. I love everything about him. I love that he fights. I love he doesn't give up. I love the captain that he is for the club. It was just a really difficult question that I had to answer, and that was the only one I could give. See you next time. Zafilio, mate, always a pleasure. Thank you for dropping in. Origi has bags of potential, said Mr. Clean It. We're only 3 subscribers away now, you dirty little teasers. 3 subscribers away from 16,900, so please do hit that button. Right, Ryan Kent. Let me move on to Ryan Kent. And there's a little bit on... before we move on to Ryan Kent, there's a fun thing we need to talk about. Have you guys seen the comments from Mikel Arteta today? Which, do you know what? They made my day. Apart from the Fekir stuff, this made my day. So Mikel Arteta has been speaking about the impact that Anfield can have on opposing players. In my playing career, Anfield was the only ground in which I had the feeling of Pajara, which means being stuck. It happened to me with Arsenal when we conceded 5. You say, I don't know what's going on. Stop the game, please, because I don't know where I am. It's hard to explain, but it never happened to me anywhere other than Anfield. Barca surprised me by the form of some of the goals conceded in the semi-final second leg, but at Anfield you can concede 5 without knowing. Neither in Spain, nor Greece, or Germany did I have that feeling, not even at Old Trafford, only at Anfield. I absolutely respect Mikel Arteta for coming out and saying that. I genuinely do. I really do. We know about it. Some people try to say it's a myth. It isn't. Anfield can have that effect on people. Barcelona fell apart. Borussia Dortmund fell apart. Arsenal fell apart. It happens time and time and time again. People say that they're going to rock up to Anfield and they're going to do a job, and the lights come on and the cop get loud and they bottle it. And I love that Mikel Arteta came out and said that. So well done to him. But it is lovely to hear. It really is, especially coming from someone as a coach at Manchester City. Right, let me move on to Ryan Kent. Ryan Kent. So, there's been conflicting stuff on Ryan Kent. Ryan Kent himself came out and said that he wants to settle down somewhere. He's sick of coming back in pre-season and going out on loan then. And he wants to set down roots. So, Rangers wanted to sign him on loan. Didn't think they could afford him. It's around 12 million, apparently, the figure that Liverpool are asking. But something popped up today that I want to talk about. Ryan Kent could remain at Liverpool this summer, says Neil Jones. The Goal correspondent reckons the winger will turn down the chance to join Leeds United on loan. Liverpool value the 22-year-old at around £12 million, but his preference is to challenge for a first-team role and leave Anfield permanently. Aston Villa, Middlesbrough and Rangers are also linked, and this comes via the Echo, but I think, of course, Neil Jones is from Goal. What do you guys think? 12 million seems about right. I've got to be brutally honest and say he's not good enough, from what I've seen, to make it at Liverpool long term. And I think if he can get a move to a Middlesbrough, an Aston Villa, a Leeds, even Rangers, if they want to sign him full time, that to me is a good move for him, and it gives him a chance to rebuild. I would probably, if I'm him, preference one of the clubs like Aston Villa or Leeds over Rangers personally, just because I think it'll prepare him better for coming back to the Premier League if he makes his way back up. And of course, if he goes to Villa, he'll be in the Premier League. What do you guys think? What do you guys think on what Mikel Arteta said? And what do you guys think on what's happening with Ryan Kent? We've got about 20 minutes left on tonight's stream, by the way, ladies and gents, so please do keep your comments coming. Paul Dunning, I am tickety-boo, mate, as always. I hope you're doing well. Fekir and Pepe is Sam's dream signings. Evertonian heads falling off after the Arteta comments. Do you know what? I'm so dense, mate, that I didn't even trigger that, because all I can see is him being Manchester City coach. Yeah, he was, of course, in Everton. Could we say legends? Do they have legends? Well, modern day legends, of course. There was legends at Everton Football Club, Graham Sharp, etc. How long have we been on? Since 9:30, Paul? So about an hour and a half now. Corin McLaren said, Anfield is a massive family of spirits that watch over this club. No player will ever walk alone. There's definitely something about this stadium, isn't there? There's something, Corin, about Anfield. You can smell it, especially in Champions League nights. Just something tangible that goes on there. Whether it's the memories of teams that have fallen in the past, whether it's the memories of Liverpool legends like Kenny Dalglish and Graham Souness that have been on that field, and Stephen Gerrard and Emlyn Hughes, Ian Callaghan. I mean, you just go on, Phil Thompson. You could go on forever. Whether it's the memory of the nights that those guys had there as well, there is something about Anfield. Brian Morrissey said we could get 35 million for Kent and Wilson, which, 35 million that's a Fekir, probably. Ryan Kent to Norwich, said Cheeky Naz. Fekir wants to come, why don't they sign him? I hope they do, Paul Ward, that's all I can say, mate. Just subbed, like the channel from NC. Nathaniel, where's NC? Sorry, mate, if I'm being dense here. But firstly, mate, thank you for subscribing. We're only 98 away from 7k. Wow, we'll get there, ladies and gents. Thank you so much. I agree, Craig, as much as I'd love to sign him for seeing with Rangers, I don't think we can afford him. But you are getting Ajaria by the looks of it on loan. He looks like he's going to go up to Rangers on loan. Or not Ajaria, excuse me, Ojo, sorry. Keep getting mixed. Ajaria was there, of course, didn't work out. Yes, it's Ojo. What have we got? Villa would be perfect for him. Doma and Green aren't great, so he'd be a starter, I reckon, and it's also Premier League football, which is a really good point. It is Premier League football with Aston Villa. Klopp leaving / taking a break at the end of his contract. That is something that he mentioned before, Sonny. His contract runs till 2022, and he did say previously that when his contract was up, he'd like to take a year's sabbatical. Now, from what we've read, the club would happily extend, but I don't think they want to put pressure on Jurgen Klopp. But we all want him to stay forever, because, I don't know what else to say about Klopp that hasn't been said. Did you guys see the video that the club put out today on social media? It's probably out elsewhere as well. It's basically an uncut 6-minute video showing Jurgen Klopp as soon as the Champions League final whistle blew. So the camera basically follows Klopp for 6 minutes as he goes around congratulating his staff, the referees, his players, commiserating the Spurs players. Obviously he shakes Pochettino's hand as well. It's a wonderful, wonderful piece of video footage, and I'm so glad that the club released it. I'm not going to lie, I shed tears watching it earlier on. It's beautiful. It really is beautiful. You see everything in him. I think he must have given out about 40 hugs throughout that 6 minutes. Like it's an amazing watch if you haven't had a chance to see it. If you're on Twitter, just look at our account if you want to, or go to Liverpool's account. But we retweeted it or we quote tweeted it on there. It's a great piece of video. It really is. Arteta was also a Rangers legend, said somebody. Jack's Page said, whilst I'm watching the stream, I'm getting more and more freaked out at that picture if Fekir keeps staring at me. It's he's a little cheeky little look on his face, doesn't he? What's Fekir's price? Sam couldn't tell you. North Carolina, sorry, apologies, North Carolina, Nathaniel and John, thank you. And it's always lovely to know where people are watching from, Nathaniel, so thank you for that, mate. What else we got? What's Fekir's price? I don't know, Sam. I mean, you hear 15, you hear 50. I don't know. Ross Burton said 17k soon. We're 98 away, mate. It is getting close. It's getting close. I love celebrating every 1,000. We're Mr. Murph and the Magic Tones and Blue Lou. That is one of the longest names, buddy, I've ever seen on YouTube. I love it. Ben Woodburn, Curtis Jones, Ryan Brewster. Which one would you put your life savings on to make it at Liverpool? Ryan Brewster, without a shadow of a doubt. Oh God, I mean, yeah, Ryan Brewster. I'm very confident in that kid making it. And Curtis Jones, I'm interested to see what happens with him as well. I don't think Ben Woodburn will make it, but it's very harsh to write off a young player like that, particularly when he's had injuries, because he could be a later developer. So, but of those three, mate, Ryan Brewster, without a shadow of a doubt, I would say will make it. Nathan Murray said, "This is such a good stream. Keep up the good work, mate. Could watch this all day." I could listen to that all day, mate, because honestly, I know sometimes this looks like I just turn the camera on and come on here and just blabber on for an hour and 45 minutes. But honestly, I probably put in a couple of hours research on stuff before I come on to get little bits and pieces on notes and stuff. And then, of course, interacting with Connor and the Anfield on the WhatsApp group all day to try and find out if anybody else has any news, particularly around transfers. Because it's very difficult to talk for an hour and 45 minutes every night when not much is happening. But we're fun on this channel in that sometimes the conversation, and I was speaking with Brian Morrissey about this last night, we go off on little fun tangents at times, and it's gone mad ways. We've spoken about crisp sandwiches, we've spoken about ice creams, we've spoken about Harry Maguire's head. I love that about the chat on here. I love that we're not always chatting about Liverpool and football. We go off and talk about mad stuff at times, and it helps us all get to know each other. And I think that's really important, and Brian pointed that out to me last night. The more we have the little non-football conversations, or you let me know where you're watching from, or you let me know about if you're doing exams and stuff like that, I think it helps us all to get to know each other and form that community that we keep talking about from day one that we want on here, which is why we boot trolls out really quickly and we don't put up with people's shit, because we love this. I love getting to know people, and I love being able to know that somebody's watching in North Carolina, for instance, or somebody's watching in Australia, and it's great fun. And I think it is what makes us a little bit different, but we can only run the channel the way we want to run it, and the way we've wanted to run it from day one was to have a bit of fun, have a laugh, not be serious, because we're not fucking experts on here. We will never pitch ourselves as experts. We're just Liverpool fans with an opinion, and our opinion is no less or more valid than any of your opinions, and that's what makes it fun. Come in here, we have a chat, you say one thing, I say another, somebody else will come in with something else, and then we'll see if we can come to some type of consensus. And still, after speaking about Nabil Fekir now for what, an hour and a half, none of us still have a clue if it's going to happen or not. Connor said, hit the like button or he'll go to prison. Need to hit 200 likes. Have we not hit 200 likes? 400 people watching. If even half of you guys hit the like button, Connor won't go to prison. That's you're going to prison anyway, Connor, though. Admit what you've done, mate. You're going. What do you think of the Benfica youngster Liverpool are eyeing up, David Tavares? Yeah, we spoke about that a little bit yesterday, as he's, as you said, impressed during the pre-season, well, not the pre-season, the pre-Champions League final warm-up game against Benfica B, Barcelona, against Benfica B. Apparently his season last year, he was supposed to be progressed to the first team, but he did an ACL or something like that, which held him back a little bit. Yeah, interesting. I mean, Benfica. I keep going to say Barcelona. Benfica do have a history of unearthing really good talent. We've seen that with João Felix at the minute, but it's definitely one to keep an eye on. And he certainly seems to have impressed from the articles I've read. Interesting. Attacking midfielder. He can also play in the left hand side, from what I've read. Yeah, you've got to take everything with a pinch of salt, but it does make sense that we're always on the lookout for good young players. Daniel Nichols, Pepe, welcome to Liverpool. Craig, what are your ideal signings for Liverpool and be realistic? Fekir. If I'm being greedy, like really greedy in this window, give me Fekir, give me Werner, and give me... It depends on the centre-back situation. Let's say Lovren staying, then we do nothing. I just need a backup left-back, mate. I just want 2 attacking players bought in this window, but I could understand just getting 1, but I'd be greedy and get 2. And Werner and Fekir would be my ideal 2. I've never understood the whole talk about Memphis Depay. He's a bit too braggadocious for my liking. Neres, I wouldn't mind either, actually, now that I mentioned that. Pepe, the reason I don't run with Pepe and say Nicolas Pepe is because I just haven't seen enough of him to put my weight behind, considerable weight behind him as a signing, mate. Subscribe from Toronto, said Preet, how are you, buddy? Welcome. It's been 14 years since I've been to the beautiful city of Toronto. My wife has a lot of aunts and uncles that emigrated to Canada, and they live in and around Toronto, some of them in Mississauga, and some of them a little bit further afield in Sault Ste. Marie. Is that right? I want to say Sault Ste. Marie. Joanne said that video was brilliant with Klopp. Gonna mention at the end of the stream, very emotional. Klopp out on the touchline every time. He's just... How could you not love that man, Joanne? He is wonderful. Free the crack on 1, said Crosby Red. Connor Breaking Bad. Do you know what I mean? You think he's Mr. Nice Guy. You think he just goes around in the background, making things tick over. There he is. He's just El Connor. What can we call him? El Connor Clink Clink Crosby is what we'll call him from now on, I think. What else we got? Somebody said fingers crossed for Daniel. Is Daniel doing something? Are you doing exams or something, buddy? I'm trying to scroll up to find out. I've no idea what it is, but whatever it is, Daniel, I wish you luck with whatever it is, mate. Connor being sued for copyright for giving Craig a Gibbs head slap. You got half of that right, mate. I think this channel will hit 100k this time next year. It's the People's Channel. Oh, Corin, that is the most beautiful thing anybody's ever said to us. The People's Channel. That you know what? That's what we want. That's exactly what we want it to be. So, you've no idea how happy that makes me, my friend. Thank you. Joe Gomez can play left back. We don't need a left back. He's good at it too, said Dean Coates. Joe Gomez is class, mate. You can play anywhere, you're right. It just seems to be that is the position that we've heard most in the media. Although Adam Lewis could certainly step up and play there. Ziyech, nothing on. I've seen nothing train tomorrow. Absolutely nothing. De Ligt, Fekir, Rabiot, Werner, dream transfers, Rantwango. Craig, your show is better of any than the professional talk shows. Fair play, class act. I hope RTE doesn't come in for you. I can say this, Paul, with 100% certainty, mate, because I've had the conversation with Connor. I wouldn't go working for RTE. Not that I've anything against RTE. RTE are a national broadcaster. It's to me, that's not where the future of content lies, and I will never go on and give up this to do something that will censor what I can say. And by censor, I mean language mainly, not the opinions I can give, but the language that I can use. Doing YouTube and being on here gives me the freedom to make the mistakes that I constantly make, and I do. Sometimes I'm hot-headed, sometimes I say stuff that's just wrong, sometimes a lot of the time I use bad language. And this gives me the freedom to make those mistakes, and it gives me the audience and you guys that understand that I'll make mistakes, and that's important to me. And I know that you guys don't hold these silly little things against me because you're human, I'm human, shit happens. Now, if shit happens on a public broadcaster, that's the end of it. So I'm quite happy here and quite happy doing what we're doing. You know that I want to move to America and emigrate there with my family. I've never made a secret of that. And if this gives me a platform to make that happen in some other way, whether it be working with someone like ESPN perhaps, part-time or something, great. But I just want to keep doing this. No matter what happens, I want to keep doing Anfield Agenda, because outside of my family and the club itself, of course, this is the highlight of my life. I love it. I absolutely love coming on here and getting to talk to people. And sometimes I wonder, are people sick of it? Are people sick of me coming on every night talking the same shit, probably repeating some of the same stories? But I cannot tell you how much fun it is and how much I appreciate every single one of you, even Clink Crosby there. What else we got? This is just a front for Connor's 100 grand cocaine dealing, said Nathaniel Jones. And that much I can say he definitely doesn't do. He's no, that's not his bag whatsoever. No pun intended. Best stream ever, said Nathan Murray. Thank you, mate. Pro Clubs Gameplay, how are you? Welcome in. 96 subscribers away from the magic 17k. 17 is such a better number than 16, isn't it? Don't you think? Sound stream, just feckin' sound, said Brian Kelly. Thank you, mate. But as I keep saying, it's only a good stream because you guys make the content. Do you know what I mean? When you see other people, so Redman TV, I'll use them as an example because they're damn good at what they do. Redman TV do some pre-recorded content that's excellent, and Paul and Chris and the other people, they do a great job. But it's a little bit different because they make their own content, because they sit down, they come up with ideas, they discuss those ideas between themselves, and they make great content. I'd be screwed without you because I don't have any content. I do some stuff for Brian and Connor, small segments, but in the main, this channel was built off watch-alongs and nightly streams. And without you, this nightly stream wouldn't be jack shit. Without your comments, your insight, your humour, this wouldn't work. So from day one, and I'm going to keep banging this drum, I want everybody to know this is a community channel. We never push money. The only time I've ever pushed money on here is around the charity stream for my wife, and I'm not even going to apologise for that one bit because I'll do it again and again and again. And you guys came out and you supported Sabrina and Cystic Fibrosis Ireland, and for that, I'll never forget it, ever. Seeing how happy you guys made my wife, you don't know, you're happier than I can make her, you know what I mean? Yeah, you made her very happy, and she's so proud to have been able to raise that money for Cystic Fibrosis Ireland. So thank you to everyone that did that as one thing. Link is still below, by the way, if you do want to donate to it. The link is still down below. Shout out as well to Mo Salah Facts, a friend of ours on Twitter. But yeah, as I said, it's a community. It's a community, and we work hard to keep everything we do free because it's fan content, and we believe fan content of our type should be free. So we're working hard to keep it free. We're doing little bits and pieces on the side, and we're doing other things to bring in the money to keep the channel going. And ad revenue was helped. As you guys know, we got monetized about, I think it was October, if memory serves me correct, because it was when Liverpool were playing United. I think it was October. We got monetized back then, and that's really helped us to start paying back the cost to starting up the channel. So yeah, love it, love it, love it. And thank you. Peter Bryan said, Craig, blessings on your viewer watching from Portmore, Jamaica. You lucky, lucky bastard. I mean that in a loving way, Peter. I hope you understand my sense of humour. Yeah, I've been to Jamaica once on my honeymoon as part of a cruise. Loved it. Absolutely loved it, mate. We were in... where was it we went in Jamaica? It wasn't Kingston. It was... I can't remember where we were in Jamaica. What port we stopped off at. Yeah, no, I can't remember. It was fucking 12 years ago, but it was beautiful, mate. Absolutely beautiful. The Cricket World Cup was actually going on at the time when we dropped over there, and I hope to get back. What is that illness? Cystic fibrosis. It's a lung condition, mate, that shortens people's lives. Now, I'm very naive on this myself because I'm not up on cystic fibrosis, but yeah, it started because a friend of my wife's, she has a son called Mason who's the same age as my son, and Mason has cystic fibrosis. He has autism and he has cystic fibrosis related diabetes. So my wife's friend Claire, they do it every year. They do the Dublin Ladies Mini Marathon. So Sabrina started doing it a couple of years ago, and is proud, of course, to support Cystic Fibrosis Ireland and Claire and Mason and Team Mason that do such fucking great work. Such great work. Yeah, great. So that's look, I have a very limited understanding, mate, of cystic fibrosis myself, so I don't want to make out like I'm fit to talk about it because I amn't. Craig, you make her very happy all the time when you don't sing. Yeah, that's true. She's forever telling me to shut up when I start singing. Ali Shah, thank you very much. Are you still doing the watch along of Soccer Aid on Sunday? I swear you're just making stuff up now, Joanne. I swear you're making stuff up. I know there's no way I said I was doing a watch along of Soccer Aid. I didn't even know it was on, Joanne. That's how I know I didn't say it. But I'll be on Sunday night, so maybe. Let's wait and see. Maybe. Let me check it out. Could do. What's your favourite game of this season? Barcelona. Has to be Barcelona. Barcelona at Anfield, second leg. But my favourite moment of the season was Divock Origi against Everton. Oh, I'm never going to forget that. My celebration, which is on the channel, by the way. It's the only video we've ever had that's been demonetised, was my celebration when we beat Everton with the Origi goal, because I swore so much on it that the YouTube algorithm either picked up on it or somebody reported it. But it's the only, we've done, I think we've done over 300 streams, maybe more, and that's the only one that's ever been demonetised because of the amount of swearing in it. Connor said, we don't push money, but if you need to send the money for a lawyer, then please do. He's joking, obviously. Connor has all the cocaine money, doesn't need any money for a lawyer. Joking, obviously. I think the reason Liverpool are going quiet is because there'll be a transfer in the next 72 hours, says Saeed. Nice. I think there'll be one coming soon. I agree. Montego Bay, it was Montego Bay, Ashley. Thank you. That's exactly where it was. So we went to Miami. We started in Miami. Then we went to the Cayman Islands. We went to Labadee Espanol, which I think is an island that was owned by Royal Caribbean. We went to Mexico, which was I can't remember where we were in Mexico either. And we went to Montego Bay in Jamaica. Yes, thank you, Ashley. That's exactly where it was. Where did we go in Mexico? I can't remember where the hell we went to in Mexico. I remember drinking mezcal on the beach at 9 o'clock in the morning, going on a jet ski, falling off the jet ski, getting stung by a jellyfish, and then puking and falling asleep in the toilet. That much I can remember, but I can't remember the name of the place. You don't drink mezcal at 9 o'clock in the morning, even if you're on your honeymoon, ladies and gentlemen, unless you can handle it, and I clearly couldn't. Could hire a hitman instead of a lawyer? Relax now. Jesus, Nathaniel, relax. Where was it in Mexico? Cozumel. It was Cozumel. That's where it was in Mexico. Cozumel or Cozumel. Right, what else we got? Sunday night, scored against the shite, Divock Origi. Oh, I love Divock Origi. Saturday night, ends, I like the way you move. Divock Origi. And you fuckers thought you were going to get out of this stream without me singing, didn't you? What else? Couple more minutes. I know we said we'd finish a quarter past, but this is fun, so let's keep going for a few more minutes. RMC Sports, the guy who said about Fabinho, is this press going back to the thing about Pepe? He did say that Pepe to Liverpool is going to happen, but loads of people say it isn't going to happen. And then I said earlier on as well, I don't know if you missed this press, I don't know if you were in earlier, there's a story that came out today from the Evening Standard that was on the club site that said Liverpool continue to be linked with a transfer for Nicolas Pepe, but Anfield Chiefs have a theory on the rumours. The Reds believe their name has been used to promote interest in the 23-year-old who's expected to make a big switch, but the Evening Standard claim Liverpool have no interest in Pepe. Again, I don't know. Hey Pranav, how are you, mate? Welcome. I know he says you're just checking in. Always great to see you. Stephen Richards, pour some sugar on Craig. That's my theme song on this channel, by the way. Def Leppard, pour some sugar on me. I don't even remember how that came about, but every time for the rest of my life now when I hear that song, it's going to remind me of the stream. Connor said, I'll put it this way, someone's threatening to sue me, but I'd probably cost at least 200 times as much to get into legal proceedings as the amount they're trying to sue him for. It's a fucking shakedown is what it is, in my humble opinion. People say it's a shakedown. Do you think through the Liverpool's first game away at Burnley? I don't know, John. I honestly don't know, mate. Is it true or is it not? I don't know. What else we got? Ballon d'Or winner announced Thursday. Or Ballon d'Or winner announced the 3rd of December. Thank you for that, Bads. What else we got? Did you ever nearly get deported while on holidays? No, but there was one instance on my holiday, mate, that wasn't even caused by us, but yeah, there was an incident. But never deported, no. I went mental when Divock scored against Spurs, genuinely cried when it happens. Inferno. Connor doesn't need a lawyer, he needs a miracle worker. Ring Klopp, he can walk on water. Nice. Just watched the new LFC video and I've counted 53 hugs that were given out by Kloppo. Yes, well in. That's class. 53 hugs. I like that. Montego Bay. It was Montego Bay in Jamaica, mate. Yeah, that's where it was. Look, ladies and gents, I don't think there's much else to say, really, is there? Unless I've missed something out. Done the Ed Woodward thing. Yeah, look, let's see what the next 24, 48 hours brings on transfers. I will be back here tomorrow night at 9:30 as always. We're 99 subscribers away from 17k, so if you're watching this later on playback or something, please do hit that button and help us reach our next target of our next 1000. Every single one really matters to us. So again, thank you all for your time. I had great fun tonight as always. You guys are the best. I really enjoy coming on here and chatting with you. Get your transfer rumours ready for me tomorrow. I always rely on your help as well, so have a little dig around, see what you find. Any emails you want to get in contact with us, the email address is anfieldagenda@outlook.com or gmail.com. You can get us on Twitter, Instagram, all the usual stuff. Shout out again to the 12men.com, to the official shanklyshop.com. Who else? At Mo Salah Facts. Everybody. Love you all. Look, I'll talk to you soon. Stephen Richards said subscribe or fuck off. I mean, he says it better than me. As I'll end as I always do, a little bit of a wink from Fekir. I swear he winked at me there, by the way. I swear he winked at me. Look at you cheeky little Fekir. Is it going to be Fekir Friday? Look, ladies and gentlemen, take care of your families. Tell your loved ones that you love them. And up the motherfucking 6-time European Cup winning Reds. Love to you.